If you're a Twilight fan, or what they call a twihard, I highly recommend you don't watch this video. But you may be surprised! Ah! So, I'm not a fan of the Twilight movies. A brief history of my experience watching the Twilight films. The first movie, I had no real expectations in seeing the first Twilight movie. I had some friends that really read the books and they were all excited. They were trying to convince me, and I was saying, is it going to be the Lost Boys of our generation? A great vampire film? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be like this was, like in the 80s? And we'd have all these really fun arguments. So I had a lot of expectations in that sense, because I thought, okay, maybe this will have the potential of being the Lost Boys of this new millennium. After watching the movie, I wasn't really upset with it. I was watching it and trying to have an open mind and going, yeah, the special effects are not that good. I really like the director, Kathleen Hardwicke, but this movie is just not good. There's something not right with it. Maybe it's the acting, maybe it's the story, maybe it's the use of the vampire mythology that's so weird, sparkling vampires. So when New Moon came out in 2009, I didn't really want to go see it, and some friends wanted to go, so I said, okay, let's go. And luckily we did not see it around the opening time. We saw it like a week later, because we were laughing so much during this performance, and I didn't want to ruin it for the fans, because, yes, I understand. If you love this film, there's nothing wrong with it. That is your opinion, you have every right to it. Hey, this may be the worst romantic story ever told, but hey, look, I love these films, some way or another. I like these movies, some way or another. And this is one of the worst romantic stories, whatever tragedies ever told, sadly. We all try and, enjoy something that maybe is not that good. I just remember laughing so much watching New Moon, saying this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I had no desire ever to go back to the theater to see anything else that was coming from this movie. So I waited for DVD and I saw Eclipse, and Eclipse was a tad better, but it still was, Taylor Lautner. I'm sorry. You might have a great upper body, but as an actor, you have money. Go back and learn how to act or do something, model. When it came to Breaking Dawn Part 1, I didn't want to go see it in the theater. I didn't really care. So what I did was I just waited till DVD. I remember going, wow, they've got an Oscar-winning writer to do this film. He actually did a really great film called Gods and Monsters in 1998, Bill Condon. And I remember going, okay, so maybe they got a good cinematographer too, well, because this really looks like a really great wedding / sex / vacation video. Kind of inappropriate for young kids. Nothing really happened until like the last 20 minutes of the movie, and by then I just didn't care anymore. But it looked really good, so I have to say this was the best Twilight movie. Now I've seen Breaking Dawn, Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2. The final one, which I very much doubt it. Because these things make lots of money, people love to go see them. I just saw this opening night, yes, I saw this opening night, 10 o'clock. The place was packed, the theater was packed, and there were people waiting to see the midnight and 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock showing. This movie really looked really good, and surprisingly, I was never bored. I felt the same way about Breaking Dawn Part 1. Maybe because there's a new director, the cinematographer has had some experience. The story's not so great, but the acting, it didn't bother me as much as like the other films. And the story didn't bother me as much. It felt like I was watching X-Men 2, X-Men United, because they were getting all these vampires together and they had all these special things that they could do, like shock people or move the elements. It was kind of weird. Like all of a sudden, they were like, we got one last Twilight movie to do. Let's just throw everything into the fire and just see what happens. And there were fireworks. There were definitely fireworks while watching this movie. Is this a good movie? No. Is this a great movie series? No. But I understand. I mean, this is something that if this is something you would like, then God bless you and awesome. Good for you. It may not appeal to me. I enjoy the prequels to the Star Wars movies. They're not good movies either. They have a lot of issues. But I love the mythology. With the Twilight movies, I'm not a big fan of the mythology. I don't like all the vampire... I just don't like how the vampires work in this movie. I don't like how they shine, or they can hang out in daylight, or they're just very moody, and they're boring. I want a vampire that has a personality somewhat. I mean, give us a personality. Even Lestat had a personality. Even the Lost Boys had the Corys and a personality and a great soundtrack with sexy sax. What a great movie. Joel Schumacher, this is an awesome movie. You know, people give him a lot of crap, but he made this film, remember? He made The Lost Boys. I couldn't help myself from kind of enjoying this experience. And near the end, there's this amazing, elaborate fight sequence. You know what? Finally, the Twilight movies has balls. They finally have some balls. It took you 5 times. Now, if they go on and make more movies, I wouldn't doubt it, because again, these make lots of money, and it's going to win the hearts of, you know, the Twihards, and they're gonna love this. They're gonna eat it up, and I wouldn't blame them for it. I wouldn't criticize them for it. I'm just gonna say that this is the best Twilight movie ever made, and that's not saying a lot for a series that just is a joke. I'm actually going to give Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, the second Breaking Dawn movie of the Twilight series, starring such bland characters. Why can't it follow Anna Kendrick around? She always had a personality. Or Ashley Greene, who's pretty and fun and always smiles a lot. There's a story right there. So I'm going to stop rambling and just say I'm going to give this film 2.5 stars. That's the highest rating I've ever given a Twilight movie. Usually it's 1 or 2. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Again, this is just my opinion. There's nothing wrong with your opinion. If you love this series, enjoy it to your heart's content. Please like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. I'm also on, where else am I at? I'm also on We Live Film, and I am also on WhoYouTube.com. Please subscribe to both those wonderful places and check them out, their websites. What else do I want to say? I think I'm lost. So
it's a tough beat, but somebody's got to do it.
yes, I actually kind of enjoyed a Twilight movie. Kinda. But promise me, please, go see Lost Boys. If you love Twilight, you're gonna love The Lost Boys. If you hate Twilight, you're gonna really love The Lost Boys.